So, what are we dealing with here is a drill press, model SP5225A. I have no idea who produced that. It's a basic, no name. Capacity 25 millimeters in steel, which is very nice, I guess. 1.1 kilowatts of power, which is, I think, more than enough for any house, home, hobby / workshop. And this is cheap tool. And what I like in cheap tools is that they are, first of all, cheap. You cannot expect much of accuracy from this puppy. You cannot expect rigidity or any others of those, valuable things in the professional work. But for a home shop, 300 euros, it's on Cyprus. It's not a bad deal at all. It has a depth, limit, so you can set your maximum or minimum if you like. It has 12 gears. You can see here on the table there is 12 settings of the belt that you can adjust to your purposes. And of course, if you look underneath, the wheels are made of cast iron, so this is strong stuff. This is not extremely cheap Chinese, which I saw in few other videos that they are made of plastic. It's also possible to do that. Guard for the chuck, and of course the chuck 25 millimeters maximum capacity. Of course I cut it a smaller chuck from a hand drill to accommodate also a smaller dimensions of drill. Yeah, the table. Well, how it's all made, it's gives a lot of to wish for, but well, you cannot really achieve that sort of accuracy in other, in held tools. You really need a drill press. I think this is the only tool that I would say that none of the workshop can really exist without. It is also not completely flat or vertical, or as to dimensions. I bolted it down because I'm afraid that it will fall down, but otherwise the only reason I'm using this water scale is it was just for just to see how bad it is. Well, even if you would level it out completely and correctly, the main post is not rigid enough to keep it in place, and you will always lose the stuff. Yeah. Now, if we take a look on the table, it's almost at zero. So it's supposed to be pretty flat. It uses 24 millimeter screw or bolt to tighten it up, and I'm using a basic square stock to use it in this tight space. I don't think I could access it with a regular tool, and I'm just giving it a little bit of tension, so it will hold. It won't flap in the breeze, but it doesn't hold it in the place by any means. And now, what I'm next step is lifting up the table towards my, handmade gauge, just to touch it, just to know in which places it scratches the surface. As you can see, it's at zero, so it's pretty damn flat. But well, to have it really square, it takes a little bit more of exercise. Just tighten it a little bit so it will hold to the post, and yeah, take a twist, and you see it's gripping the table. Shouldn't do that. Scratching a little bit. Okay, and now the procedure repeats and repeats and repeats until I will have it about the same amount above the surface in every corner of the table. It's 6 times speed, recording speed, so you know. Now the small thing, this little piece of aluminium I need to put in between the how you would call it, a horizontal axis surface, because this is not something that you can really tune up. I'm not sure why they did it so uneven, possibly to accommodate the error of the pressure. When you press the on the work, it possibly bends out a little bit, so it was much closer, much lower on the post side than on the place where you are actually standing. And now final tuning. As you can see, it goes almost everywhere the same distance, which is less than a millimeter, much less than a millimeter of difference on the this 15 centimeter radius. Secured power switch, which is good. The guard for the chuck. It doesn't secure you from anything else than from your stupidity. What I mean is that you will never ever leave the key in the chuck and turn the motor on. It's almost not possible if you follow the rule that the guard has to always come down. My divider or tool, this gauge, is made of axle from an old printer. I had to heat it up on the bends because it was hardened, so it would break if I try to bend it. It's quite rigid, and it has a right radius, which is very important. Previously I was using a basic nail, but as you can see, this accuracy will be a little bit less of effective. Now, this is my first handmade tool on this drill press, which I'm not using so much because I've noticed that this little jigs I have made previously working much better than any kind of clamps and vise. Well, vise would be something that I would really need to buy, but it's not something that I need so much right now. I'm not using it so much, I think. I mean, I would have not so much use for it, but well, we will see later on. Now, there is one thing I noticed which isn't so nice about it. I don't know if it's supposed to be like that, or is it a feature or a fault of this drill press. As you can see, I'm tilting the table left and right, swinging the table left and right on the post. It's squared up, and everything is alright, but as you can see, the drill cannot reach the center of the table, which will give me a little bit of a headache when I will try to make concentric holes in some piece of work, because I will have to center it not against the chuck. I will have to center it against the table. And well, I don't know if that's how it's operating in every other drill, but as you can see, it's still possible to make the concentric holes, but the drill will never give you the center at the same time. So that would most probably have to work like that, that first I need to drill the center and then the other stuff. And at the end, this is what is most important about that. Of course, the manual. Who reads the manual? Never mind. This is what was delivered with this drill, you know. It's definitely not this set of accessories and elements, but you know, never mind. The most important are the guidelines, I guess. Well, they show the assembly of it. Of course, it's a little bit different than if you would do it on the real model. From the manual, what's the most valuable in this manual is the speeds and the diameter of the drills you should take into consideration when you are drilling holes. And yeah, I already tested the highest speed, and it's pretty fast. I didn't expect it would go so quickly. It's getting shaky though. Troubleshooting, maintenance, lubrication, all that stuff that nobody reads about until something will really go bad. I will myself have to go back to this manual sometimes. And of course, how to connect it. Of course, you know why you should use the guard and the key. You know, never ever switch on the drill if this guard doesn't lay flat down on the. And you know, assembly diagram, which is very important if you would like to take it apart someday. And the list of the things, for example, number 27, spring. Very valuable information. Well, and basically that's it. That's the model. Of course, it's really bad, but it's best I can have, you know. More videos coming soon.